What is going on, everybody? You are back on another edition of Ballin Over Beers, a fantasy and betting show. This is the Week 7 DFS show. I am Justin Dueppengiesser, and I am joined, as always, by my guys, AK Howe and James Fitch. James, what is up, dude?
Not too much. Off another successful cash game week. Hit on all of my double ups and went 2-1 in my head-to-head. So I'm looking forward to week 7 and hopefully continuing that success.
Good stuff. Good stuff. AK, what's up, bro?
Nothing. Just watching all my gambling, betting / fantasy winnings get dwindled away during the NBA season.
Now you're an NBA guy now?
I'm in whatever I can bet for entertainment.
Yeah, he's been an NBA guy all his life, ever since this year.
Ever since Top Shot, baby. Got me hooked.
Yeah, Top Shot. If you're ever interested in watching some old NBA Top Shot shows, you can find us on YouTube. We rip packs, guys. We rip packs. Go find us.
Are we going to do that again?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I will. I'm addicted to the thing.
I haven't bought any packs. I went on the other day to try to buy it to see when the next packs and stuff were, and I couldn't. It said there was a packs, and then it was like, nope, there's no drop right now, so I don't know what's going on.
There's Dwayne Wade moments you can buy right now.
I saw that, and then everything was under maintenance. So
yeah, they've been having maintenance issues again. Like since last night, everything's up like 10% because everyone's like, oh, that's cool. I'm start buying moments.
Interesting. All right. Pretty interesting week, week 6 for DFS. I had another decent little sweat going on. Came down to a late swap, kind of. Probably could have finished a little higher. Didn't go bad. A couple things here and there. Cortland Sutton not hitting the bonus. Kelsey not hitting the bonus. Really kind of crappy run, but it was pretty much if you didn't have some of the chalky pieces, you were going to be in trouble last week, it seemed like.
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree. It wasn't quite like the week before, I feel like, but the Rams like double stacks crushed it. I feel like the double stacks are they're hard to nail. They're hard to get the right pieces, but if you do, I feel like Dallas double stack was good last week. Rams, things like that. So,
yeah,
you got to get lucky there.
That's what so everybody was on the Chiefs Washington game, pretty much. Trying to get a ton of pieces from that, and I had a couple of them myself, but the one that ended up being my best team and a team that I was high as 10s and 20s in a couple of contests was my Ram stack, where I actually and these guys were all pretty, I guess, Stafford was 8%, but I had Daryl Henderson, who was super popular at 28% in this contest. Cooper Kupp, 13%. But I thought what was unique was I stacked the three of them together, which I didn't think a lot of people were going to do. I had Cortland Sutton in the flex in the 4:00 game, who did pretty well at 4% ownership, and he had 23 points at only $6,200, so that was good. The thing, Kelsey, for his price at his ownership, didn't really smash like everybody was kind of hoping. He had a solid performance at almost 18 points, but I had Darnell Mooney in there, and then I had Rashaan Bateman as my other guy. So Bateman was flat mid at 3,000, 4% ownership, only had 6.9 points, but he definitely had a lot of the opportunity, which I thought was pretty good to see, and seemed like I was early on him. It just didn't pay off as well as I needed it to. So, is what it is on that standpoint. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent build for that.
I was going to look this week. I haven't got around to it yet, but the correlation between like double stacks with the lesser amount of games played, I think has to have some kind of correlation, because when there's, weeks 1 through 4, every team's playing. So it's a lot easier to get one-offs and player here, player there. But when there's less games like this week, if you nail that double stack, you are substantially higher than a lot of other people.
Yeah, the correlation piece is always interesting to look into, and I think the smaller, generally speaking, the smaller the contest, the smaller the size of the contest, I think it's better to correlate more.
Yeah,
because that way you have to get less right in that situation. So I don't know. And then the bigger the contest, like I've actually been looking at it too, where in some of these bigger fields, if I'm playing in that, I'm not even using a bring back in certain situations. Like that Ram stack, I didn't have a bring back on the other side of it.
right.
Like if I instead of trying to jam somebody in on the other side that I don't like, that I don't think is projecting well, I will go and do a one-off in a game that I like instead. So it's something to be mindful of, I guess, moving forward for sure. But all right, let's get into it. Week 7. Enough recap of that. We're here for the future and try to make some money. We're talking quarterbacks to start. Kyler Murray, the most expensive, $8,500. Patrick Mahomes, $84,000. Those are the only two in the top pricing. And then your $7,000 range, Brady at $77,000, Rodgers at $75,000, Jackson at $74,000, Matt Stafford at $71,000. We'll start with you, James. Do you like any of these guys $7,000 or more? And if so, who is it? Lamar Jackson. It was kind of a bust last week. I have him my season long. Only 160 passing, 2 picks. Didn't run as much as we were hoping. They just handed off the ball to dusty old running backs and Latavius Murray, Le'Veon Bell, and Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, I played him in my big single entry, and I had him in cash too. Luckily, other players in cash did work for me, but he tanked my tournament lineups. He seems to only really put up big numbers in the primetime games this year, which is kind of interesting. I'm sure there's no correlation there, but I kind of like Aaron Rodgers this week. I like Murray. I like Mahomes. Murray's probably too expensive to really get in, and we've talked about how he's tough to stack because you never know, which guy to go with. Mahomes is I think going to be a very popular choice against a banged up Tennessee secondary, but I really like Aaron Rodgers. I was seeing that Washington gives up a lot of fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. I think their quarterbacks that play them score like is one of the better options. So I'm going to look at Aaron Rodgers and potentially stacking him with Devontae Adams this week, I think.
Interesting. AK, what about you in this $7,000 upper range?
I'm looking at either Stafford or Rodgers just because they're cheaper and the stacking option's cheaper with them. Obviously, I love Mahomes. It's just so expensive to stack him with Kelsey or Hill that I think it hurts the rest of your team doing that.
Yeah, you really have to take a look at your costs, your cost of stacking those guys up compared to the rest of the team that you can make, because they are expensive. I think Stafford's my favorite play in this range, and I think he might be my favorite play on this board. $7,100 going against Detroit. Everyone in Detroit secondary is hurt. Last week we saw him come out through 4 touchdowns against the Giants, who stunk, where they were huge favorites. They were huge favorites again this week. I'm probably going to do the same stack as I did this last week, and I'm going to go Stafford, Kupp, and Daryl Henderson. The offense seems to run through those 3 guys. I think you really can't go wrong if you do that. If you keep going down in price, you have Jalen Hurts starting that range at $6,900, and then there's only a few other players in that $6,000 range. Tannehill at $64,000, Burrow at $62,000, and Derek Carr at $6,000. If you keep going down, we'll go this whole thing. You got guys like Sam Darnold at $59,000, Matt Ryan at $57,000.
You don't even have to go that far.
You're done. You're done.
I'm kidding, but yeah, are you guys considering anybody at those levels?
I am actually. I have some gross options for you.
Let's hear it.
I'll go first. I like Sam Darnold this week.
Okay.
The Giants are terrible, and you can pair him with like Robbie Anderson, who in the last 3 weeks has 11 targets, 7 targets, 11 targets. So you're getting a really cheap stack with a pretty boomer bust play, but it allows you to play some guys like Derrick Henry or a Tyreek Hill as one-offs.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that call on Sam Darnold. That's a lot of savings too, down to 5,900. I do think in that $6,000 range too, Jalen Hurts, $6,900 going to the Raiders defense. I think that's going to be a smash play. And I think a lot of people in cash are going to probably want to play.
Yeah, he's my cash quarterback this week, I think. And it allows me to get up to, I want to play Derrick Henry, who's hard to get in tournament lineups, but if you're going to pay down with Hurts, you can get him into your cash lineups.
Yeah. I also think Tannehill's interesting at $6,400 if you want to go the passing game stack for the Titans to get away and get a little bit of leverage on Henry, because I think everybody's going to want to play him even at his price tag. Everybody's going to see the numbers. They're going to see the Chiefs defense being terrible. So that's super interesting as well. If I'm going dumpster diving in these gross quarterbacks down below $6,000, I'm actually looking at Matt Ryan at 5,700 and I'm looking at Tua at 5,500, which is gross to say, but it's a game that I actually think you can use these guys, right? Their price is so low. The Dolphins secondary is totally banged up. They're getting Calvin Ridley back. They're getting Russell Gage back. Even with Tua, again, the Falcons defense is not very good. It's going to be a game. It's got a very high pace, to it. So I like that. The implied total for the Falcons is top 10 on the board. I like that. So I think that you can get some of these guys in there, and it's super cheap if you want to, stack up Tua and Waddle, bring it back with Ridley, and then still have an opportunity to get like a Tyreek Hill or a Devontae Adams or one of these other premium guys, Derrick Henry, whoever. It gives you that option to do so. So I'm looking pretty hard at doing that. All right. Let's move on to running back. Already talked about him. Derrick Henry, most expensive, $9,200. Then you got, again, the price just plummets. Aaron Jones is at $7,500. And then Barkley at 67, he's likely going to be out. Daryl Henderson at 66, Mixon 65, Fournette 64, Patterson, which is just wild to see, at 63, Josh Jacobs 62, Hubbard at 61, DeAndre Swift at 6,000. James, what are you doing at running back in this range?
Yeah, I talked about Derrick Henry at 92. I mean, he's the highest priced player on the slate. He's tough to really get into tournament lineups. We were talking earlier about, like, can you do Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Derrick Henry as a bring back? It's doable, but you've got to pay down, at least a few times to do that. I like Daryl Henderson. I like throwing him into the Rams stacks we saw last week and we've seen before, where a lot of times it's tough to think about doing quarterback, running back, receiver, but last week was perfect proof that it can be done. And he caught a touchdown pass too, which is great. I just think there's enough to go around in this offense for that to be successful. So Henderson's one of my favorite plays in this price range.
Yeah, Henderson's my favorite play of any running back of any price. I love the volume that he gets. I love the game environment that he's going to be in. He gets all the touches in the goal line situations. I'm all over Henderson too. Aki, what about you in this price range?
I like Henderson, but I'm trying to figure out how I can get Derrick Henry in every lineup. And until he stops getting 800 touches a game, then I'm just going to try to keep playing him every week. He's just that good.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, you're not going to get any arguments from me with Henry. He's, like you said, he touches the ball so much. It's incredible. Like, it's just, he's a freak show. It's just in the best possible way you could say that. He's just crazy.
Did you, off topic a little bit, but did you see what Des Bryant tweeted about him?
No.
He's like, Derrick Henry's the Madden character we all created as kids.
Yeah, it's true. You create the guy that's 6'6", 300 pounds, and you make him run like a 4.3 40, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. What James, what are you doing? Are you doing anything with Chuba Hubbard at 61? Because I was looking pretty hard at him. He's gone up a little bit in price, but against the Giants, I think that's a pretty nice matchup. And Matt Rule, their head coach, has come out and said that they want to get back to running the ball more. So
I would rather play DeAndre Swift. I'm one of those. He's kind of like Kareem Hunt to me, where I just I want to put him into my lineups every week. He's still got there last week with a garbage time touchdown. I think he's been banged up, but I do think he's getting healthier, and I think they're going to need to throw him the ball to really. Jamal Williams has been hurt too. He's been banged up, which has boded well for DeAndre Swift. So to save $100 there and get a player that I think is going to catch more passes than Chuba, that's the direction I want to go. And he's probably, if I'm going to bring back with Detroit in that Ram stack, he's the guy I'm going to do it with.
No, I like that call. He hasn't had a game where he has had below 5 targets. So he is just, and they're going to be down. So he's going to get a ton of targets. If you keep going down in price, Antonio Gibson, 59, Daryl Williams, 58, coming off of a 2-touchdown game last week. Lat Murray, 58, Damian Harris, 57, Chase Edmonds, 56, James Conner, 56, Damian Williams, 55. He's still on COVID list as of right now, so you'll have to keep track of that if he's coming back. Devontae Booker, 55. Keep going down. Guys like Gaskin, Khalil Herbert, who is with the Bears coming off of a performance where he basically was on the field and taking every important touch for the Bears for the second week in a row almost, it seemed like. So, 19 carries, almost 100 yards and a touchdown and 3 targets. AK, you like anybody in this $5,000 and to upper range to the $6,000 range?
I think Miles Sanders is an interesting play. One of these weeks, the Eagles are going to figure out that he should touch the ball 20 times a game. And the week that he does, I think he's going to blow the slate up for someone. And I just feel the Raiders defense is going to allow him to do that this week.
$5,100, definitely an interesting option for a pay down guy.
I mean, even if he gets his average touches of 10 to 12 a game, I feel like at 5,100, if he gets 1 touchdown and his 60, 70 yards, you're still getting like the correct value for him with huge upside.
Yeah, I mean, if he breaks one for 60 yards and a touchdown, then all of a sudden you're talking he's a great play. So, and he's showed the propensity to do that in certain situations. I mean, against the Raiders defense, I could definitely see that happening. I think in this range, it's going to be super interesting to see what people do with Khalil Herbert, Daryl Williams, Devontae Booker, Mike Davis even, and J.D. McKissick. James, what about you in this $5,000 range?
Yeah, McKissick right now as of Wednesday is my favorite play. He saw a season high 10 targets last week with Antonio Gibson leaving the game, I think multiple times last week. I think the football team, they should probably just like rest him, right? Like he's playing with a stress fracture in his leg
every week, and they just keep running him.
Yeah, he needs to sit out. And I worry that if he does, McKissick's going to be kind of that free square play. But at $5,000, I think you just put him in and forget. You forget about it. He's going to get runs. They're going to be playing from behind. The game script sets up well for him to receive, another 10 targets plus if Gibson's set. So keep an eye on that. But he's, as of right now, my favorite play in that range. That range is brutal from like upper 5s down to 5,000. It's not a good week to have to pay down at running back.
No, it's really tough.
I wouldn't feel comfortable throwing either of those Bears running backs in the lineup against Tampa Bay. That's for sure.
No, you can't. No. I mean, Tampa Bay's shown that you don't run the ball against them.
That's not when Vita Vea is playing.
What's that?
Not when Vea is playing.
He's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's just a huge human being. All right, let's go below that range. AK, anybody below $5,000 you like? Because
no.
Okay. I like Ramondre Stevenson at 47, especially if Damian Harris is banged up going against the Jets.
I'm on him too. He first touchdown of the season last week, caught 3 balls. I think the trust is slowly starting to build back up with him. Like you said, Harris has been banged up. So I think they're going to, even if Harris plays, I think the Jets, playing with the Jets, I think the game script is favorable there too. So I think he's going to get work.
I just don't trust Bill Belichick with running backs. He doesn't release any news, and all of a sudden Stevenson might just be a game time inactive, like for some reason. I just don't trust Bill Belichick with running backs.
I mean, I definitely understand that. Like, that's why you're doing that. But if you're going to jam some of these guys in, You got to find spaces to do it. And if like, I think it gets a little clear if Damian Harris is out. The problem is like almost with McKissick, if Gibson's out, now all of a sudden Stevenson's going to be steamed up because he looked pretty good, had the touchdown.
Right.
All of a sudden you're looking at like, all right, he's probably going to be the guy that everybody's going to go to pay down to fit Derrick Henry into the lineup.
Right. So, I mean, I'd rather fade it and gamble against him than be with 25% of people cheering for him.
Right. No, I think that, and I think that's the argument and the decision that you have to make for sure. Jarrett Patterson do anything for anybody if Antonio Gibson's out? Flat 4,000. Doesn't catch passes, but proved to be a pretty good runner.
I think it's going to be all JD.
You think it'll be just
JD McNugent?
Yeah.
JD McNugent. Nice.
I mean, I would like to see Patterson get some carries for my best ball teams, but I'm not playing him DK.
That's all best ball.
So selfish.
That's just all best ball. All right, let's actually talk about relevant things, not best ball, AK. We're gonna go to wide receiver.
Just because your team's terrible.
My teams are great, dude. What are you talking about? I got multiple first place teams in best ball right now.
Yeah, the league's by yourself.
It's not true. All right, Devontae Adams, $8,900 up top. Tyreek Hill, 86. Cooper Kupp, 84. Love all three of these guys. Will definitely have Hill and Kupp in lineups. Want to get to Adams. Don't know if it's going to happen. James, you already mentioned you like Rodgers. Probably going to stack him up with Adams, right?
Yeah, I like that stack, and I like the McKissick bring back. Either that or paying down for Ricky Seals-Jones again. I like Tyreek Hill. The injury designation scares me again. He only played in like half of the snaps last week. Didn't come out of the locker room to start the second half, then came back in and scored a touchdown, saved my fantasy redraft week. But it worries me a little bit. I think it's a favorable matchup again against a banged up Tennessee secondary. So I like that. And then Kupp is a no-brainer if you're going to play Matt Stafford.
AK, what about you up top? Anything from the three?
I love Cooper Kupp again this week. I don't know how you can't. He gets so many targets. He's ridiculous. He's a better version of Julian Edelman right now.
Because he's white?
No, just they run the same, type of routes and just the same type of player. I just think Cooper Kupp's a more athletic, better version.
It's the breakfast narrative. He gets breakfast with Matt Stafford every morning, has since training camp. So they've been breakfast bros.
Loves him. No game less than 10 targets. That's unreal.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, keep going down the list. DeAndre Hopkins, 77. DJ Moore, 71. Those are your only two players in the $7,000 range. Then your $6,000 range goes from Terry McLaurin, $6,900, down to Brandon Cooks at $6,000. Give me A.J. Brown at 63, and I do like Calvin Ridley at 66. Probably my two favorite plays. Third play would be Jamar Chase.
This is a great range.
Oh, it's such a good range. It's I want to hammer this range.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
McLaurin scares me again with the injury. I do like Ridley. I do like AJ Brown. We saw him come out with a strong second half last week. Antonio Brown I feel like he leads Tampa Bay in targets every week. Oh, man, I can't pick a favorite. They're all good. I just feel like Calvin Ridley's been so quiet this year that he's just going to be due for a blow up spot. So I'd say he's probably my favorite in this range.
Same, and Xavier Howard's hurt. Dolphins secondary is banged up in general. Not a great pass rushing team. I like me some Calvin Ridley for sure. AK, what about you?
Yeah, you're really convincing yourself with that Dolphins bet you have. But
you should check out the betting show if you want to see me make a lock of the week pick that I hate. I picked the Dolphins. Hate it.
I like Calvin Ridley too at 6,600. It's crazy to see him that cheap. And I like Antonio Brown. Mike Evans still has more targets than him, but every week that he plays with Tom Brady, it seems like those two are becoming best buddies and probably going to be eating breakfast together soon.
11, 8, and 13 targets last 3 games for Mr. Antonio Brown. Still the best story of the offseason is him throwing a bag of gummy bears in the shape of penises at his wife while the cops were standing right there. Unbelievable. All right. $5,900 and down. Just probably the most shocking price of the week. Chris Godwin at $5,900. 5,000 all the way down is to Devontae Parker at 5,000. This range does not excite me as much. If I had to take somebody, it'd probably be Jalen Waddle in that game that I do like, coming off of a 13 target game. He's had 2 13 target games in his last 4 games on the field. Atlanta secondary is not great. So I think that is where I would lean right there. AK, what about you?
I mean, there's a couple guys that I don't mind sprinkling in. Ruggs, if he's healthy, they love throwing deep balls to him. So, I mean, he's a boomer bust play. But I think Jacoby Myers, he's been getting a pretty good rapport with Mac Jones. He's been getting the targets the last couple of weeks, and the Jets are terrible. So,
will Jacoby ever score a touchdown? The poor guy needs to celebrates like he got one last week, and they call it back on a penalty. I think he kept the football too. He said, "You know what? Fuck it. I got to keep this one because I might never find the end zone again."
Yeah. So no, he's gonna get 2 this week to make up for it. So
that'd be good for my dynasty team.
Oh, James. Now we're talking about that dynasty team.
Yeah, hey, you're gonna bring up best ball. I'm gonna bring up dynasty. James, what about you? Anybody in this range?
So Godwin, I love. I think that's that price is ridiculous. Sterling Shepard at 56. We saw him come back and have a good game, so I think that's not a bad play. Nobody's going to want to play Allen Robinson. He's going to be due for a bounce back game at some point here against a pass funnel defense at Tampa Bay. People keep playing T. Higgins, and he's not producing at 4,900. I think he's a steal again. AK shaking his head. And then Robbie Anderson, we talked about him at 4,800. Again, similar to T. Higgins, Allen Robinson. Like those guys are just due for a bounce back game. So I think there's some good value in this price range.
Yeah, and if you keep going down in that 4,000, like you just mentioned, those guys in the upper fours, the Robbie Andersons of the world, I think even Tyler Boyd's an interesting one at 47. Darnell Mooney, who I played last week at 46. With Tampa Bay being such a good run defense, they're going to funnel everything to the pass game, and Mooney's a guy that can get behind the defense, maybe get a couple deep shots. McCole Hardman at 43 against the Titans, and again that banged up secondary. If for some reason Tyreek is out of the game for a little bit, maybe they get him a deep shot. You can always double stack it with Kelsey and Hardman or something to differentiate from those Tyreek shares. AK, anybody you like for these cheap in the 4,000 or lower range?
There's 2 guys I like. Rashaan Bateman.
Yep.
Again, Rashaan Bateman. He had 6 targets last week in his first game back. So I think that's only going to increase. I think he's better than Marquise Brown, a different type of player, but I think he's going to be their true number 1 for him, not just a deep threat. And then just a flyer, if you're doing the Rams game, however you say his name, St. Brown, Artemis St. Brown or whatever.
Equanimeous?
Yeah. He's getting targets, and the Rams are going to be ahead by a lot. So hopefully Detroit's throwing it. So
you're thinking of Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
For Detroit.
St. Brown.
Equanimeous plays for Green Bay.
Yeah. It's his brothers. Both named after Egyptian gods or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't read their bio, so I don't know.
Well, you should.
I like that play. His target share has been crazy for he's been like the go-to wide receiver for Stafford for Goff. Hawkinson's been beat up, so it's been Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Nice. I like the Bateman call. I played him last week. I might go back to him again this week at 34. He's just provides so much savings.
I'm going to squeeze him into probably a lot of lineups. He didn't really get a lot of deep threats, deep balls last week. That was Hollywood. So I'd be interested to see if they get him more involved down the field this week.
Yeah.
Get those air yards.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to tight end. Tight end this week. Everybody's going to play Travis Kelce, and that's it, right? Probably. 7,600 for Kelce. Waller, 67. What's that?
Oh, no, you were saying everyone's going to Kelce. I'm not.
No, that's why you lose. You've got to play winners.
I've got my eyes on one tight end here, and I bet you'll never guess who it is.
Oh boy, Mike Gesicki at
It is Mike
4,700.
Gesicki.
Yes. Love it. Love me some Mike Gesicki.
Wide
Dolphins
receiver.
fan, baby. Listen, I picked the Dolphins. Let's go, Fins. Tua, Waddle, Gesicki, stack them up.
I like the Gesicki Ridley mini stack. Gesicki's targets have been off the charts. He's been getting targeted. He plays basically like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
The receiver core there is banged up. So I like the price. Usually I don't usually go with kind of a middle of the road tight end, but this week it just fits my builds. I'm usually kind of paying up or paying down at the bottom, but this week I'm going to go middle of the road, I think.
Love that Colin Gesicki. All the Dolphins, baby. That's why I picked them. AK, tell us who you're playing.
Oh, you got to go with the Bengal CJ Uzomah. He's a touchdown monster. He has 3 on the year. Nothing to get 3,000 in that game. You're basically betting on a touchdown, and he is getting red zone looks. They are doing like Chase and the receivers, and I feel like he's just been getting left open in the red zone a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'd rather play, Anthony Firkser at 31. Just go up because I'm going to be stacking the Chiefs. Not that Firkser does really anything. If he's lucky, he gets 4 targets a game. But Ricky Seals-Jones at 3,700, I don't think it's terrible either. He's just on the field so much. He has the chance of breaking that long touchdown.
If Gronk doesn't play, I think OJ Howard's a good flyer this week. I think they finally started trusting him in the red zone a bit more. We saw that last week against the Eagles. I think, I don't know if there just wasn't that trust before, but we saw him get a little bit more work, especially in the red zone. And he's just an athletic tight end. So I like him at 3,400 as a kind of a flyer.
You got to watch your injury report with him, though, because he didn't practice again today. So
many injuries. Unbelievable. All right. Best part of the show, defenses. Let's get it. Just kidding. Defenses are brutal. Most expensive, Rams, 5,000. Not paying up for them. Cheapest, Texans, 2,000. Not paying for them either. James, what are we doing at defense here? I looked at maybe the Eagles at 2,300 going against the Raiders.
I'm going to spend up a little bit, and I think I'm going to play the Cardinals.
Oh, you son of a pop. That was mine.
I think Houston's offense is not good, obviously, and Arizona's defense is sneaky okay. I mean, they gave up a Hail Mary right before halftime, but outside of that, I mean, they shot Cleveland's offense down quite a bit. So I like them. If I'm looking at paying down, I'll probably go with the Jets at 2,400, and just, their defense hasn't been terrible. I like the head coach there. Salah's a great defensive coach, and Mac Jones is a rookie, so he could make some mistakes. We saw him throw a pick 6 last week. So,
Iggy, what about you? Anybody
Well,
else?
I'm going
The Cardinals? Anybody other than that?
No, I'm going to the Cardinals, and my reasoning is you get points off turnovers and sacks, and when Arizona's up like 40 points in the first half, Houston's going to be throwing the ball, so more chances for sacks and interceptions. That's it.
No, that's fair. That's how you got to do it. I think if I'm paying down, which I usually do, I'm probably going to do the Eagles. Eagles D line is okay. They're not great, but they're pretty decent at rushing the passer. Derek Carr is still Derek Carr. I still think he has it in him to throw some picks, take some sacks, and do something like that. So that's who I would pay down for. But all right, let's close the show out. James, give us your 2 favorite stacks of the week or favorite plays, and then AK, you can do that. Then I'll do it, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I think right now I'm leaning towards that Ram stack. I know it's going to be pretty chalky, so you've got to just think of ways to get kind of creative or really just kind of hit your other picks. But I think AK brings up a good point with Amon-Ra St. Brown, so I think I'll do like a Rams double with him coming back and then kind of build around that. And then my other favorite plays are going to be Derrick Henry and Jalen Hurts in cash. Paying down at quarterback a little bit allows you to get Henry in your lineup up and then add some other studs too.
I like it. AK, what about you?
My favorite stack is the Darnold Robbie Anderson stack. Just because of the price point, it allows you to play Derrick Henry and not be strapped with a lot of other players. You can still play like Daryl Henderson in that lineup, so it's pretty nice. And then my boom pick of the week is going to be Miles Sanders. I really like him going against the Vegas Raiders this week.
Very nice. My favorite stacks. I'm going to play some Chiefs again. Love the Rams games that you mentioned. I played the Stafford Henderson Cup last week. Going to come back to it this week. And then my last one, go Fins, baby. Tua, Waddle, Gesicki, run it back with Ridley. Saving so much money, be able to get in anybody else that you really want. Could throw a Cup in there, could throw Henry in that lineup. So I like that quite a bit.
You would.
Is that like your Jimmy G one?
Dude, he got hurt. What are you going to do about that? He got hurt. Give me a break. If he was in the game, he was the one throwing the 76-yard touchdown to Brandon Ayuk down the sideline late in that game. Deebo Samuel went off. Dude, that would have been a good week if Garoppolo didn't get hurt and not come out in the second half.
He would have underthrown it, and we would have been mad that he missed a touchdown.
Trey Lance underthrew it. He was just so open, it didn't matter. It didn't even matter. He was open by 50 yards. There was nobody around him. All right. This show's getting off the rails here. We got to get out of here. I got to go to bed. All right. For AK Howe at Kenny Truelove, for James Fitch at Fitchy24, I am Justin Dueppengiesser at JDiz1617. Find us on Twitter at Ballin Over as well. Smash the like button. Tell us who your favorite stack is. Tell me how much you love the Dolphin stack. And if you do, I will like that comment on YouTube just for you if you do it. All right, everybody. Good luck this weekend. Let's win some money. We'll talk to you later.